What's up, everybody? It's your host, Mike Mack.
And it's your boy Curtis, aka the Carolina Smash, and welcome to the Black Heroes Podcast.
Hey, bro, what you doing? Why you stealing my part?
Oh, that is your part, isn't it? I wanted to, just maybe switch it up a little bit, I'll try something new.
Man, press pause. So, we back with another one, and this time we're going to be stepping a bit off the anime stage again and going into comic books. Pretty much talking about some of our favorite characters, stories, villains, and what we kind of want to see in the future for, comics and what kind of can happen, especially since over here, superheroes are a bit more influential than some of the more,
Especially like the last, 15 years?
yeah, thanks to Marvel a lot. Like, Marvel,
With like a hint of DC.
Yeah.
But
Thank you, Marvel, for them
man,
live action shows.
hey, much love to DC. All right, you gave us that Batman. You gave us that. I respect you for that.
Whatever, either way. So, just going to be talking about some of our favorite things from comic books, what we like about it, what we like about the stories, and, bits and pieces of all types of good stuff. Are we even really talking about things we dislike? I don't really have too much I dislike about comic books.
I don't have too much I dislike either. Like, okay, how about this? Who is your number one hero?
Spider-Man.
I really thought you were about to say Superman for a second. I was like, what? when was this? You don't own no Superman merch.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I low-key don't give a fuck about Superman. But Spider-Man, that's my dude.
Okay, for me, it's Batman. Batman, I think, is the best. I think a few weeks ago, I think I made a tweet. It was like National Superhero Day. And I found like a thing with Superman and Batman. I thought it was pretty cool. And don't worry, I already know who's gonna win in the fight. We seen Death Battle those few years ago.
Well, I remember that. I remember that, but that was because they said Bats wasn't prepared or whatever.
I mean, as much as I love Batman, like he's not gonna go toe to toe with certain people right out the gate. Like if you give him some prep time, then he'll probably take out anybody. But if he just comes across Spider-Man, he probably might end up losing.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have no reason to fight Spider-Man just popping up. Who was he? J.J. Jameson? Like.
I mean, hey man, Bruce and Jameson could be friends,
Yeah, Jameson would be talking trash about Bruce to his back.
But that's your favorite hero. Who's your favorite villain?
I'd have to say actually Vandal Savage. I was really introduced to him in Young Justice, but when I went and looked him up,
one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, I went and looked him up. He's actually a really interesting guy, just backstory and kind of his purpose, because he kind of throws in that thing of evolution. Because if you don't know Vandal Savage, he was actually one of the first human beings. He was one of the first Homo sapiens that, fun fact, the Homo sapiens, the cavemen, completely wiped out the Neanderthals.
So, I remember that. I remember that in class.
Yeah, and so like he was one of the first cavemen. He ended up sleeping by a meteorite that gave him immortality, some type of way.
I still don't understand how that works.
Hey man, maybe it was low-key kryptonite.
I know in Young Justice, he was the first meta-human, but I still don't understand how the rock works. Why aren't there more rocks?
Hey man, everybody else was scared of it. He was like, this is warm.
Let me cuddle next to this random rock.
And so he was just like, man, I'm tripping. It's cold outside. I'm about to stay with this heater. So, I mean, he discovered the first heater.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
well, hey, that actually was a good pick. I do like Vandal Savage. I enjoyed him in, what was that movie called? Justice League Doom. I think he was the main antagonist of that.
I mean, he actually was. I remember that one. I gotta go back and watch that.
It was really good.
DC probably has the best animated movies.
While Marvel has the best live action.
Yeah, but Marvel hasn't really done animated movies since like Captain America.
I can't even remember the last animated movie they ever done.
Is he the Captain America or like the Avengers where they meet Black Panther?
The only animated anything I've seen from them was like something with Black Widow and Punisher. I don't know if it was like a movie or a show.
I remember that.
I don't know what it was. It had like an anime style to it.
Oh, there was also the Hulk versus Thor, Hulk versus Wolverine. Love those movies. Those just, especially the one with Wolverine, because that's when the voice actor for him was actually he normally does animes, but he kind of crossed over into doing more stuff. I can't remember.
I feel like I know who you're
Stephen
talking
Bloom.
about.
There we go.
Okay.
Stephen Bloom, who voiced Spike Spiegel. He actually did the voice for Wolverine and Wolverine and the X-Men. and also one of my favorite
Underrated
shows.
show.
That was a really underrated
It
show.
really is. Like no one knows about it.
But yeah, but like, yeah, so I remember like some of the Marvel movies are cool, but when it came to the animated movies, it just seems like DC was better off with those, and that's probably just because of writing style.
Well, I still really am. Like, I do have mad respect for you for choosing Vandal Savage. Like, my favorite villain, I'm just gonna keep it in the Batman realm, is Joker. I know it's pretty cliche, but this man is probably the greatest villain in the history of comic books. Like, I like him so much because we don't know anything about him. All we know is he fell into some acid and now he's like this insane
Oh
person.
no, they gave a backstory to Joker. I was talking to my brother about that because,
I thought that wasn't canon.
well, I mean, one of the things they said is that like Joker was supposed to be he's highly intelligent. He's supposed to have like degrees in chemical engineering and stuff. Because like one of the things in one of the comic book series, he actually poisoned the water in Gotham, and it took Batman like a long time to figure out the antitoxin for it.
Oh wait, I
And that
think I
was
know what
like,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
and so like that was the way he was able to do it.
See, I thought his initial backstory was in the Killing Joke, which was actually one of my favorite comics. And in the end of that, it kind of established that that might not be true. 'Cause I think a Joker quote he said, "If you want to have a backstory, might as well be multiple choice." So we technically don't know what is like fiction, what is
That was actually
facts.
a hard line. Shouts to the Joker for that one.
But like he's just like the reason I love him so much because he's just the opposite of Batman. Batman is order and discipline, and Joker is chaos and mayhem, and they just go hand in hand.
Well, yeah, this is the point of creating a perfect foil. I think that's kind of like why it's so hard to have a great villain for Superman. Because as much as people can like Luthor, it's like at the end of the day, you can never fully understand why Luthor is always going up against Superman.
Well, it's because like Lex, he wants to rule everything. He wants to be the man in charge, and he can't do that with Big Blue around.
Man, this billionaire being a douchebag.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's kind of, it low key is kind of what it boils down to
but to be
because
fair, like if Superman wasn't a nice person, he would waste Lex in like a millisecond from the sun.
yeah, I mean that's what we that was one of the interesting storylines they did where they had Superman kind of turn savage.
You talking about the injustice or something different?
Yeah, Injustice. Talk
Um,
about the what's the one with the Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, what about Red Sun? Which actually they just came out with a movie recently. Red Sun actually was pretty good. I didn't get a chance to read the comics, but the movie was pretty good.
I don't know. Last movie I saw was the Wonder Woman thing, and I made it like 10 minutes into that.
But Bloodlines?
That was a boring ass movie.
Oh,
At least in the beginning.
why you gotta say that? I didn't watch it yet. Now, like,
I
there
mean,
goes
I
my
haven't-
hype.
I mean, it might last longer. I never went back to try it again. I just tried the first couple minutes, and it was like Wonder Woman hanging out with Trevor and his family, or some family that was trying to shelter her or whatever, and it was just it was just boring.
All right, well, we have our favorite hero and we have our favorite villain, but like to you, like what makes a good hero and what makes a good villain?
I feel like what makes a good hero, obviously, you gotta have motive. You gotta have a good inspiration, kind of like with Bats, the fact that he built his inspiration off of his parents being murdered and nobody was there to help him. He wanted to be the person that helped them.
And also like the whole concept of the bat itself. Apparently, Bruce was afraid of bats as a kid, so he uses his own fear against his enemies.
Yeah, so I just feel like when you have a good motive and you're able to write it in, and also when you have the things, because like one of my favorite things that happens with a lot of heroes, especially with somebody like Batman and Spider-Man, you have it to where you have multiple times where it's just like they have to think like, do I really want to keep doing this? And they give it up, but then something pulls them back in.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Spider-Man is that like at the end of the day, he is still he's still like a regular teenager at the end of the day. Like he still goes to school, he still has to get a job, he's still doing everything that we did, and still managed to be like this huge hero. So I think that to me what kind of makes a good hero is like having them have like still be human. Like they're like these superpower gods basically. Well, I guess Batman's not superpower, but he's still a god. But like still have them be human. Like have them make human errors, have human mistakes. like to show them in their struggles. Um, when it
Show them
comes
dropping
to
bitches.
when it
like
comes
Spider-Man dropping Gwen.
when it comes to villains, it's a little bit harder to describe because with Joker, he doesn't really have a motive for what he does. He just does whatever he wants or whatever he feels that day. If he wants to steal candy from a baby one day and then murder like 300 people the next, that's just what he does. But I think like a good villain challenges everything that the hero stands for multiple times. Like if a good villain is like a villain that can get inside the hero's mind and break them mentally, not physically.
Well, I mean, I like that how they did with Joker and Bats, where they kind of were like Joker, like they complete each other, and they kind of had Batman admit that, like, man, but like if Joker goes away, I lose my greatest point of existing. Like, yeah, there'll still be crime, but at the end of the day, Batman's not stopping every single petty thief or petty murderer that's there. There's still the police. He's there for the bigger boys that they can't handle. And, it was kind of nice with that. Also, like, a villain like Bane. I was just listening to a guy, a YouTuber, Jax Blades. He's a fitness instructor guy. He does,
Okay.
like, anime and comic book videos and stuff. And he was talking about Bane. And he was like, and Bane pretty much did the same thing Batman did. He had to go through and get trained and conquer his own fear, which is one of the best ways that, Bane was written. It was just like why he was such a good antagonist against
See, I
Batman.
really hate when they tried to make Bane seem like an idiot, but this man's actually supposed to be really smart because I still remember in one storyline he actually did figure out who Batman was and came up with this plan to like tire him out, like basically release all the villains all at once. So Batman was working like tirelessly,
I think they did like what 3 days or like a week straight.
just about. And then by the time Batman came back, he was like beyond tired. Probably was going to collapse at any moment. And Evan Bane stepped in and broke the bat. And that's where that like iconic image came from.
Yeah, and for me, I think what makes a good villain, because it's not like every single villain needs a motive, and it's not like they need to be the foil to the character. Because, like I said, like I like Spider Man, but none of his villains really is a foil to him.
Except for like Venom and then like bit of a scratch, Green Goblin. But that's kind of a bit of a scratch.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, though, it was just like you still respect these villains a lot. Because, I mean, with Venom, you have a guy who I guess you can say is the opposite of Spider Man, but I mean, it's really just mental trauma stacked on mental trauma. Because Eddie was pushed to the limits, of his sanity. Then he ended up getting mixed in with the symbiote. I almost got that word. He ended up getting mixed with the symbiote, which already feeds on negative emotions and stuff like that. So, but what made Venom so great was the fact that you got to see what it would be like if Spider-Man didn't have that discipline to hold back the urges that the
Yeah.
symbiote gave him. But that's what makes him great. But he's not exactly a foil to Spider-Man. It's just the thing of like, oh well, this is what you would have looked like. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this could have been you.
Oh my
It's
god.
kind of like
It's
those.
like those little smoking videos. Like this could be you if you keep
Yeah,
smoking.
you don't want to end up like me. I smoked some. Yeah, you like that's pretty much that's pretty good imitation.
It was, bro. Like those commercials. Like, I felt so bad watching those commercials.
But yeah, so I think with a great villain, you really just have to make it to where their evil has a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like why Eddie Brock was pushed to the limits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he lost his job. Parker had went through and found out like, oh, you're actually taking my shit. So like you're not actually making these pictures. You're taking mine. And then with Spectacular Spider-Man, another underrated show. I don't know why I can't
Wait,
find.
you consider that underrated?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I enjoyed that show.
yeah. A lot of people didn't know.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh damn.
apparently so. That's why you can't find it nowhere. Like,
Wait, is it on Disney Plus?
no.
What?
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
to
on
be fair,
Disney
I didn't
Plus,
try to look
Hulu.
for it.
It's on nothing. I can't find it nowhere. It
Wow.
sucks. But yeah, like with that one, they had it to where Brock and Parker were really good friends, pretty much brothers, and it just the relationship deteriorated, and you still get to see that part where it's like, damn, Brock, you actually think that Parker betrayed you? Because if I'm remembering correctly, Dr. Connor's lab had the symbiote.
Yeah.
Spider-Man stopping Black Cat ended up getting infected by the symbiote, and then
Actually, hold that thought for one second. I just realized both our favorite heroes fuck with cats.
That's true.
I just realized that. Thank you for like saying her name.
Yeah, Black Cat and Selena. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I want to say Catwoman, but like that's her name, so I was like cats.
I mean, Selena's one. And then, that's another thing. But yeah, just kind of finish what I was saying.
Sorry.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Just the fact that, you had it to where you see where pretty much with Spider-Man, you see his villains, how they get pushed to the break. And because, I mean, Green Goblin, he goes insane from using the green ooze? What was the thing he was using?
It was some drug.
Yeah, it was a drug.
drug.
They had different names for it. It was green though. You know what I'm saying? Like if he would have turned into like he's the human Ninja Turtle. That gets messed up.
I mean, which Ninja Turtle would he be?
Raph.
Yeah, I agree.
So you know what I'm saying? You just keep seeing these things. Dr. Octavius. A lot of Spider-Man's villains are actually mentally unstable. A lot of villains are mentally unstable, but a lot of his are like pushed.
Yeah,
to
but a lot
mental
of his
instability.
villains are like close to him. Like they know who Peter is.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know like
Well,
they're
it
the same
depends on
person.
how you,
but
it depends on how you kind of set it up. I think for me with Spider-Man, my favorite villain is Kingpin, just because
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because they actually had a storyline that didn't take off for whatever reason, where Kingpin actually figured out Parker was Spider-Man, like in one of the original series.
That's when they finished it.
I don't think that took off.
Really?
Yeah.
I could sworn I heard like a story about he knew and then like he just made his life a living hell after that. Cause
Yeah,
he
but
put a
that-
bounty on him or something.
Yeah, but I mean that didn't take off. That should have been a TV show.
It
But
really should have been.
But yeah, like in one of the originals, the original Spider-Man, like 2003, probably the best one. Is it 2003 or 2000?
Oh wait,
2000.
the original one?
Yeah,
2002.
2002.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Yeah, I mean that's on Disney Plus. So that one, Spider-Man, he had something was happening, and he pretty much had to use his smarts and chemistry and physics to stop it from happening. And Kingpin took a notice of that. So somebody else took that idea and kind of pieced it to where Kingpin just took different parts and pieced it together. It's like you're actually Peter Parker. So that definitely should have been a cartoon.
So it was kind of like what Bane did to Batman, but just Kingpin and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, since you mentioned the movies, out of that trilogy, which one is your favorite movie? Because when it comes to Batman movies, my favorite trilogy is the Dark Knight trilogy. My favorite movie is The Dark Knight. I can literally cut The Dark Knight on right now and still enjoy it. I mean, it has one of the best quotes. You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And I think that's stuck since. I think people have been using that for everything now.
I have to say the original Spider-Man trilogy was actually solid. I know a lot of people have their ifs and buts about the third movie, but
emo Peter. The little dance that he does.
That's still one of the most iconic things ever. Like, and you still have people who will not watch the other Spider-Mans just because Tobey Maguire. That's his name, right?
Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, because Tobey Maguire did such a good job.
Bro, does that man age? He still looks the same.
Yeah, actually, they just had a thing where like all the That 70 Show actors were on like a video call together. Yeah, he practically looks the same. So, but yeah,
I mean, I enjoyed the Amazing Spider-Man.
I
series.
did too. I can
Not as
see
much as the
where,
original.
Yeah, I can see where people had issues. I'm really liking the new Spider-Man with
Tom
Holland.
Yeah, he's doing a good job.
He's doing a good job as both of them.
Yeah, and like he plays like Toby's Spider-Man was a lot older. So like he's mostly like college, after college.
Yeah, like that first movie was him in high school. That was like a senior.
Yeah, and I know like with Tom's, like he's just freshman, sophomore?
Yeah, so he's 14, 15, dealing with all this. I think, because the way I heard somebody break it down, Toby at the point was the best Parker. Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man because, I mean, when he was playing Spider-Man, he was fucking funny. Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man was hilarious.
I agree.
And Tom is like the perfect combination of the two.
And plus, I will give respect to the Amazing Spider-Man. Well, I think it was the second one where they did the whole Gwen Stacy angle.
Yeah, they did that perfectly.
I mean, I was kind of heartbroken.
I still laugh when that part, but not
Did she
that
hit
part.
her head? Oh, you laughed at that?
No, not that part. I'm talking about where she helped Peter figure out like the best way to stop Electro, and then Peter just like webbed her through the car, and she was like, "Peter." Whoops.
Okay, wait.
That's
Okay,
still
during
funny.
her like death scene, and spoilers, I guess, but if you haven't seen the movie by now,
I mean, if you don't know the fact that Gwen Stacy dies in the original comic books, you like where you been
yeah,
at?
like I mean, come on, y'all. But like, did her head like hit the ground, or was it just the whiplash that killed her?
I think in the original comic book, what was supposed to happen was that her head hit the ground, and it was a combination like the whiplash caused it.
Okay.
So either way, she would have came out that thing like not doing too well.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw the scene, I played it back many times. I could have sworn like heard like a thud.
Yeah,
so
I mean, she hit her head, so that paid great homage to the original source. But I think like they asked Stan Lee like a couple years even before that happened. I was like with Gwen Stacy, like would she have been all right? And he was like more than likely not, because I mean he caught her from her midriff, so that probably would have probably paralyzed her. So she probably would have been like Barbara.
But Barbara was still a badass though.
I mean, just because he's smart.
I mean, I don't know, man. In Young Justice, I think last season, like when Dick snuck up on her and he basically just like judo throwed him.
Okay, let her fill out that chair though. She did fall out the chair.
Did she?
Yeah. She
She
fell
didn't?
out. I thought she fell out the
No,
chair.
she didn't fall out this chair.
Oh, well, let her fall out that chair. He
I
would have
mean,
got up.
yeah.
That would have
Okay.
been a bad sight after that.
Wait, so, okay, since Spider-Man is your main, does that mean like you're more into Marvel, or is just you like Spider-Man but you're more DC?
Um, it's kind of weird. I'm more even actually. It's like I like some things about DC that I like better than Marvel, and some things about Marvel that I like better than DC. Like to me, Marvel is more realistic.
Yeah, well,
know-
and that's saying something when you have like Titans and Wizards and stuff, but it still kind of
But, I
breaks
mean,
it down
but
and make it
these-
realistic.
Yeah, but these people, you see how bad it gets sometimes. And
Like,
some of
didn't
these
Tony
people,
have
they-
like
they-
in the comics, he was suffering to like alcoholism?
Yeah, he became an alcoholic. He was really stressed out about being Iron Man. Tony actually he smashed a couple of
Wait,
he
I
made
thought
his
about
way
something,
around.
bro. He smashed Gamora in the comics.
He smashed Gamora. He smashed what's not Black Widow? What was Ant-Man's wife? Wasp.
Wasp.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, but yeah, Wasp.
Yeah, he had a thing. I think her name is Pam. Yeah,
Oh,
Pam.
Pam.
I
Pam.
mean, Pepper. I mean, he got around. I mean, it makes sense. It's Tony.
I mean,
I still
same thing
remember. I
about
mean,
Bruce, though.
that still is one of the most memorable moments where it's just like
Oh,
you
man.
take off that suit. What are you, Playboy billionaire, then philanthropist?
And then Black Widow's reaction, like,
Yeah,
you got a point.
Yeah, so most definitely. But it's like that. I like that part about Marvel, but with DC, I like the morals more, and the fact that they test the morals like a lot,
I mean, I'm
and
more,
they just don't break those morals.
I'd say I'm 60, 40, 60 DC, 40 Marvel. 'Cause I do like we said with the morals. But I think I just grew up with DC. I didn't really start getting into Marvel until really
Also,
after the movies came
A
out.
good thing about DC that I think is better, the younger generation is better.
Are you saying that because of Young Justice and Teen Titans?
Well, I mean, not even really that. They have sidekicks. Like with Marvel, there's not really
I mean, can you count Bucky as a sidekick?
no, because they're the same age.
He could still be a sidekick.
Whatever. It doesn't really count though. But it's like there's no full thing aside from like maybe X-Men. There's really nothing that actually
Who's a
set
sidekick
up.
in X-Men?
But I mean, like, because you had the main fronts. You had Wolverine,
Like
Cyclops,
the
Jean,
leaders, and then
you had that younger second generation Bobby, Kitty, Spike. You know what I'm saying? So like you had Jubilee. So
is
you-
Rogue like older generation or younger generation?
That's how I kind of got confused because in the original she was actually like
She's pretty old in the original.
Yeah.
But as time went on, she became more like younger.
yeah. So then she kind of got written younger, so that way it could be a closer bond between her and like Wolverine.
I miss her femme fatale character. I miss like her like being all flirty and stuff. It kind of
Oh yeah, from the
added to
original
her
X-Men.
character. Yeah, like she's flirty, but you can't
And she
do
was
anything.
well, they kept her as a country girl in most of them. But no, actually, the country girl part was really from I want to say the original, and I think Evolution. Now that's a good one.
Oh my god, I just realized something. A wrestler that I like and you hate. I think he had that little streak in his head based off of Rogue.
It was gay.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Seth Rollins back when you had a little blonde streak.
And I always, I mean, honestly, I was joking about it. I really didn't put it that seriously.
I just
then-
put it together. You got inspirations from Rogue.
that's not canon, so we don't know.
Yeah, that is true.
Nah, that's not even the thing to use right now. Whatever.
I know. I'm sorry. This came in my brain.
Yes, I'd probably go with DC because like I like Nightwing a lot. Jason Todd.
Oh man, that's actually my Jason Todd's like Under the Red Hood. That's my favorite storyline in Batman.
That's just a cool ass character, man.
It is.
And just the perfect way of having the actual good guy have to die, and then he comes back.
You know what's sad about that? I feel like we as people are really fucked up because it came down to a fan vote whether he was gonna die or not.
Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of like when it's kind of a point I want to bring up earlier, but when he came along, people didn't like him because he wasn't Grayson like at all.
Yeah, he was like the complete opposite.
Yeah, and he was from a rougher. Yeah, he was actually from a crime alley. So he grew up, you know what I'm saying? He belongs to the streets. So
yeah, so he was in the hood.
So I mean, he was a grittier attitude, he was meaner and a little bit rough around the edges, but he was actually highly skilled, as we see with Red Hood.
Hey, I just realized like my favorite villain created your boy. He created your boy.
Hey, he ain't my favorite, but I mean,
well, not your favorite, but like he's up there.
Yeah, I'd still like Nightwing over Jason Todd, but I mean, Nightwing that's a really good character.
I just want to see a show with them two are the main characters.
I want to see them fight. I want to see a full on. That's the point. I don't know.
Cause like Nightwing is the better acrobat, but I think Red Hood is the better brawler. I think he's the better tactician. Do you think so?
I think so too. I think with Nightwing, he is smart, but it seems like kind of like because like that last movie they have with the Bat Family where Nightwing had to go up against Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no easy way to put it. Bats fucked Nightwing up.
He did. He did.
I mean, Nightwing got like 2 hits, and then Batman was like, okay, that's how you want to play it, huh, Sonny?
That movie nerfed my boy, man. They nerfed him. They nerfed him.
And then with Under the Red Hood, you just saw him like practically same level as Batman.
Until the end, where he just got mollywopped. That was so one-sided.
I mean, that's kind of the funny thing about Bats. Is like Bats will play with you, but once you get a couple hits in, he's just like, okay, I was trying to be nice.
God damn, he's that dude that plays with his food for eating it.
Yeah, he was like, I was trying to be nice to you, but now you want to fuck around and hit me and stuff. Okay, I don't want you to get too big.
I mean, that's how Superman treats Batman sometimes. Like, oh, you got a couple good shots in. Let me be serious like 2 seconds, and then we know what happens.
That joke is hilarious.
Oh, man. But, like, you know what Robin doesn't get a lot of love? Tim Drake. Tim does not get a lot of love.
But I mean, he's a newer character. I think.
No, he's not. Damien's the new Robin.
But I'm saying though, like Drake came in back before comic book stuff got the hype.
I guess you're right because Tim, I honestly will say he is the smartest out of all the Robins.
He figured out who Batman is.
Do you think he's smarter than Batman?
No.
I think so. No. I think he's smarter than Batman.
No.
He's gonna take over the world's greatest detective moniker.
He's probably same level detective, but I mean you got to remember Batman is not only a smart detective, he's a chemist, physicist, engineer. I mean he can do all this stuff. I mean Drake, he's smart, he figured it out. I mean it's like,
one day.
He ain't the GOAT. I mean, no matter what anybody wants to say about Batman, Batman does do a lot.
That is true.
So,
well, like, okay, dang, I really do like the fact that like your favorite Spider-Man, because mine's Batman, because even our games are kind of similar too, like the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Well, yeah, it was based off the mechanics of Batman.
Well, technically, Batman's mechanics was based off of Spider-Man's mechanics, so it's kind of like they're just from one of the older Spider-Man games. I think Spider-Man 2. Yeah, like Batman's like core combat comes from Spider-Man.
Oh.
And then like Spider-Man saw what Batman did and like, oh, like he made some improvements, so I'm gonna take that and I'll make even more improvements. So I think like they're really just bouncing off each other, really.
Yeah, but I mean though, when you think about it, because with Parker, it is kind of a Batman type thing. Loses his parents, loses his actual father figure that he has. That
R.I.P. Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I mean that sets him, and I mean, I ain't gonna lie. One of my favorite things in the Rising of the Shield Hero is when Itsuki says that to Naofumi. He's like, listen, with great power comes great responsibility, and Naofumi's like, I didn't know you were bit by a spider.
I like that. That was such a nice touch.
That was so hilarious.
Oh man. Hey, that means Spider-Man exists. Like the comics exist in Naofumi's world.
Yeah, so that was so funny. It was off topic as hell, but that was hilarious.
I mean, it kind of fit in a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, but Parker, he is highly smart. He's not the smartest. I think for Marvel, the smartest person is Richards.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Mr. Fantastic is listed as the smartest person, and Tony comes in as a strong second. So Parker is probably like fourth or fifth. And on DC side, Batman is listed as one of the smartest. I don't think he is the smartest.
I say probably top 10 easily.
Yeah, so they're both top 10 smart people. They kind of investigate stuff because Parker, he does have moments where he has to investigate a lot of things to get, like, you know, criminals to stop or at least find the criminals and connections and stuff like that. So they're really similar.
Do you think they would get along if they had like work together?
Not too many people get along with Spider-Man.
But he's such an ass, man. I mean, I love him, but he can be an asshole sometimes.
It's pretty much how him and Wolverine's relationship is.
What relationship?
Yeah, they have a relationship.
No, I'm joking. Like, what relationship?
I was about to say.
No, like, I mean, their relationship is
Wolverine,
poor.
Yeah, like, Wolverine will deal with Spider-Man, but at the end of the day, he will still want to cut Spider-Man in half because he fucks with him all the time.
What if he accidentally kills Spider-Man one day? We feel bad about it?
I don't know. I think Wolverine's probably one of the most... Who do you think is one of the most interesting characters ever created in comic books?
There's so many. There's so many. I mean, Wolverine does come to mind, but what do you think? Because I gotta think on that one.
I would have to say... I mean, I'm leaning more towards Wolverine because just to see somebody who has to deal with all that... Because, I mean, Wolverine is like 80, 90 years old.
I thought he was like hundreds of years old.
Well, because they said he fought, what?
I remember one movie he like fought in the Revolutionary War and stuff. So he was
it just kind of depends because I know with Wolverine and the X-Men, they had it back to where he fought back in like because he's Canadian, so which I always found funny. Wolverine's Canadian, but he like I don't know. They just switched the storylines up so much. So in some ways, he is. You know, they have him set revolutionary. Sometimes they say World War II, because like I don't think it's X-Men Evolution. It might be though.
Let's see. I don't think this character is the most interesting, but I just find her very interesting. This kind of segue into one topic I want to discuss with you. I'm gonna have to say Raven. I think she's a pretty interesting character. I don't think she's most interesting, but she just comes to mind as interesting characters. Like this person who is a hero, but whose father basically wants to destroy everything, and just that dynamic and stuff. And like, I don't know, she's a mystery type character. And the fact that her power is also based off her emotions, so she has to keep her emotions in check. She's basically like a Jedi. Had to keep your emotions in check, or you'll become Anakin.
Yeah, I mean, I always like Raven's story and stuff like that. I mean, I like the story. I like Starfire better. Either way,
that's the next topic, man. We've been debating. All right, y'all. We've been debating this for years. Raven versus Starfire, not in a fight, but it's who is the better character. Mike says Starfire. I say Raven.
Man, I didn't say anything about the better character. I just like Starfire more.
I thought you liked her character more too.
I mean,
well, character.
I like her personality more. I mean, if you ask me, she's a better looking character. I mean, come on now. See them hips, nigga.
I mean, look at Raven. Have you seen that One Piece?
I mean, have you seen that body of Starfire altogether? I mean, don't you remember in the Teen Titans movie where she just completely stopped Nightwing from thinking?
Okay, that's not fair because Starfire's older than Raven in that movie.
So, I didn't set the rules.
Still, if Raven was the same age as Starfire,
she would not be that developed.
Yes, she would.
Yes, she would not.
Yes, she would.
No, she would not.
Bro, she had like, and I can say this guy was her age around that time. She had titties back in the Teen Titans days.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Starfire didn't even have titties.
She did.
A little bit.
Yeah.
As much as Cartoon Network. It is kind of funny when I first saw Starfire because actually I love her Teen Titans outfit. I really like that. And then next thing you know, you find out that her actual outfit was just pretty much like a bathing suit from like a harem anime.
Oh my god.
Like, man, that's one of the coolest things though about like these comic book characters. These bitches are bad, boy.
Right.
Wonder Woman with that outfit.
Well, a little side story. In Injustice 2, like my favorite character in the game is Wonder Woman. and I'm so good with her to the point where like when I play with my friends, when they hear her name pop up, the mood is changes and they
Yeah,
like, oh,
because
we
Wonder
lost.
Woman's a fucking cheater in that game.
What?
She's broken in that
She's
game.
not that
It
okay. The
was pretty much,
lasso is a little
man. I'm about
broken.
to say that joke was pretty much as bad as Aquaman's Trident.
Okay, you know what? Touche.
Yeah, exactly,
Touche.
exactly. That joke was terrible.
Oh man, do I still remember those little series we had with Injustice and Injustice 2?
Yeah, man, it just used to be fun. I used to always win because I was cheap when I always win.
I was
But
say it was
if
pretty
I
much
didn't,
50
I mean, if I
50.
didn't use Aquaman, it would be up in the air. But
No, cause
Aquaman,
like,
I
I feel
cheated
like
all the
whenever
time.
I choose a certain character, you would choose a certain character. So it basically did become a series. I chose Superman, and you would choose Shazam. Or if I choose Green Arrow, I forgot who you chose to go up against him. Was it Catwoman?
Nah, I didn't use Catwoman. You chose Arrow. I think I normally use like bats. So yeah, probably Aquaman.
Oh no, it was Aquaman. It was
Then
Aquaman.
Aquaman was my go-to if I wanted to make sure I got to win. That dude was. I mean, there you go. That's one. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's probably one of the interesting characters. The
Aquaman?
OG, yeah, like OG Aquaman. Because
Bro,
Aquaman, low key, was actually a savage.
he got so much shade back in the day. Like, oh, this is the dude that just talks to fish.
Yeah, but Aquaman was like ruthless.
He
in,
was. Tell
in
me he
the
had like a
original.
hook for a hand.
Well, no, just his original character because he did not like the surface. It wasn't kind of like I would say kind of like Jason Momoa's depiction of him, but in the Justice League movie, not his own movie. In the Justice League movie, he was pretty, he liked people, but you saw how he acted. He was
No,
more
that was
standoffish.
that was his own movie. That's when he debuted.
No, but I'm saying the Justice League movie, where he was like real standoffish with Batman when he pulled up.
Oh, he's talking about after the fact.
Yeah, so
Okay.
like just that type of character. But yeah, the original Aquaman was ruthless. He did not like the surface world. He was like, "Hey, I'm running Atlantis. Y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want to. I don't care. Like, as long as you don't mess with us." And I mean, he was low key a killer. I mean, but he was a king, so it didn't really matter.
One thing that always made me laugh is like Batman has this no killing rule, but Aquaman, like I'm pretty sure at his kingdom is old fashioned. I'm pretty sure they do executions still there and
I mean,
beheadings and stuff.
He had a couple of characters that he killed. And one of the originals, one of the problems they had come up with Wonder Woman was that Wonder Woman allowed some women to kill people, and people, it was like that was a problem for some people. Like, hey, you shouldn't be letting these people die. I was like, hey, they were criminals, and I let the women free. Let them do what they do. So it was just kind of I just always like DC how they kept their characters that were pretty much against killing, and then they had the ones that were, and then they just had that line, and some characters never crossed the line, like Batman. What was that movie with him and Catwoman were pretty much in a relationship the whole time, and
Talking about Hush.
yeah, there we go. Like my brother doesn't like that storyline, but I
Really?
love it.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot too, mainly because Selena was looking amazing.
Plus, I really enjoyed. Oh man, this man's gonna have his phone on
Hey,
during
man.
recording.
No, it was actually my alarm when I go to work. But
Okay, you know you gotta keep that in.
whatever. So yeah, but Hush, where they actually had it to where Bats was pretty much just legit about to just make Selena officially a part of his life. She gets kidnapped by Riddler. I mean, if you haven't watched the movie, it sucks for you. And like he's trying to save Riddler after he almost killed Batman and Selena just makes.
She was like, why?
Yeah, she was like, well, why didn't like? It wasn't like you were just killing him for fun. That would have saved my life. And Bats was like, I can't kill him.
I think he believes like anyone can be saved, so that's why he doesn't kill. And plus, I'm not gonna lie, that actually one of my favorite fights with Superman and Batman.
Batman's ideology is that he really wants to make sure he's not a killer because of the fact that he thinks that is what separates him from the villains.
Oh, see, I always
No
thought
matter
it was,
how ruthless he gets, as long as he doesn't kill, he is still a good guy.
Well, I thought it was because if he kills, because the first kill is always the hardest, but if he kills, then you won't stop killing. Because that was the whole thing with Under the Red Hood when Jason was like, he's not talking about Two-Face or Penguin. He just wants Joker dead. And Batman was like, if I go down that path, I'll never come back.
Well, yeah, there's no going back to it because then that's you're not separating yourself from them no more. Because at the end of it, and I thought that was a good movie because of the fact that was a really good point. I mean, Todd had a point. He had crime under control. I mean, he was ruthless with it, but he controlled it. He told people like, "Hey, you're gonna do this, this, that, the third, and you're not gonna do this, or you will die." and it worked a lot. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, actually, I was kind of on Jason's side on that one. Like, if someone basically killed your son, are you just gonna like let them run free?
and that's why I'm saying, like, just the fact that DC does things like that makes it one of my favorites, and that's why I think they have. That's why I think they have more interesting characters. Because Marvel is interesting, but at the same time, it's just kind of laid out there. You know, like you know why these characters are like this. You know, Wolverine is A, old, and B, he has a whole lot of trauma in his past, so we know why he's so aggressive. You know why he's kind of standoffish and an asshole. Jean, you know why she goes through her mental trauma because the Phoenix. I mean, so a lot of these things, Tony, I think Tony's probably one of the most interesting ones because how he had to deal with that stress of being a hero,
Yeah.
run his company, and do all these other things. So, I mean, I just like DC a little bit better just because how they do that. But like I said,
I mean,
it's just a mixture of
Marvel
things.
has its highs too, but like since we established our favorite characters, is there like two more characters? We'll do like our top three. Who would be like your second and third favorite character? Because I already know my second is Superman, and I know like Superman. Like, people think Superman's like, oh, he's just bland, he's a Boy Scout, but not really. Like to me, like when you have like this unstoppable God, you have all this power. What are you gonna do with it? I feel like any other person would probably destroy the world at this point. I think they made a movie like a year or two ago, like a kid based off Superman, and the kid was evil, and we know what happens if Superman was evil. So I do kind of like the concept was like you're basically God. What are you gonna do? And I like the fact that Superman just has those morals. He's trying to be the best person, the best human being. He's not even human, and he's trying to be the best person he can be. He's trying to help as much as he can. And I kind of actually like that.
I'd have to say second favorite is Flash.
I respect that.
And to be kind of more specific, I like Wally West a little bit more than Barry Allen, but just the Flash in general because I like the fact that with the Flash, it was seen. Cause I mean, like low key, Flash is broken. Like they actually kind of proved that. I think was
Talking
one
about
of the
like
things.
Flashpoint.
Well, no, not even that. Even when you go back with Justice League, where Luthor and Flash got switched, um, their minds got switched, so they were in each other's bodies. And that was actually a really funny episode because while he was in Luthor's body, and somebody was like, "Hey, Luthor, where are you going? To the bathroom." Evilly, I'm gonna use the bathroom because I'm evil. And no, the guy was like, he was leaving the bathroom, and he was like, "Hey, you're not gonna wash your hands?" He's like, "No, because I'm evil."
I mean, bro,
Wally is
like that is
hilarious.
kind of evil, especially in these times. That is evil.
Ah, that is hilarious.
Oh my
But yeah,
god.
and when people start realizing like Flash isn't being Flash, and Lex starts just kind of going off balance with his power, people are like, "Hey, Flash is kind of dangerous, ain't he?" It's like, well, yeah, but Wally keeps it in check because I mean, super speed. That's all energy is speed. So if you talking about Flash, that he could actually probably phase through Superman and stop his heart.
So like you like Flash kind of similar to how I like Superman is because
Yeah,
like, he has these
it's more
powers,
it's
but
more to the character also because Flash shows you what the point of being an upbeat character. Because that was one of the biggest things with Flashpoint. When you lose Flash, when you lose that energy, that positivity, shit kind of goes to hell. 'Cause look at the rest of the Justice League.
yeah, didn't they turn evil after he like
Yeah,
supposedly
and Justice
died?
in the Justice League animated movie and animated show, they turned evil because Flash ended up sacrificing himself fighting Luthor. Superman kills Luthor, and it's like there's no happy check for the negativity there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like his character always bringing that in, and I just like Wally more because I mean you saw with Young Justice, Wally was fucking hilarious. Wally's
Yeah. Okay.
hilarious.
Quick question: do you think Wally is coming back in Young Justice?
I can see it. Yeah, I mean, that's the way they did that storyline is pretty much how Barry Allen disappeared the first time in the original comics, and then Wally was able to save him. So
I mean,
it's not like he died; he just got stuck in the Speed Force.
yeah, I might like the fact they kind of set it up where like if they want to bring him back, they can, or if they want him to stay dead, they
Well,
can.
yeah, I mean, they didn't bring Barry back until like 2-3 years after Wally, or I think even like 4 or 5 after Wally took up the mantle.
Well, I'm glad that you also mentioned Flash because it's kind of segue into my third favorite hero, which is Green Arrow. And I guess like I'm more of a sucker for heroes without powers. Superman is the exception, but I'm more into heroes without powers. And I just love Green Arrow. I loved him back in the animated show. I thought he was actually one of the coolest lead members. And I loved him more with Arrow, I guess because it was like a Green Arrow Batman hybrid. So I just fell in love with it. And one thing I do love about the Arrowverse, I love the relationship between Flash and Arrow.
Yeah, that junk is funny.
Like I love their relationship,
especially when he shot him in the leg.
right?
It's like, oh, you shot. No, he shot him in the back. It's
Oh,
like,
he's
you
talking
shot me. And he's like, I hear you heal fast.
Now I like the fact when Barry got revenge and all over like years later, because they was training, and 'cause that's when they switched powers. Yeah, and like he was like, bro, I've been waiting to like for 3 years for that, man.
I mean, for me, I got to say my third probably be Nightwing.
Okay.
Mainly because not only do you see, because you see what the weight of a legacy is.
Yeah, because
Thanks to
Nightwing, I think it was in Young Justice. He technically doesn't want to be Batman. He wants to be a hero.
Well, he wants to be as great as Batman, but he doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne Batman. Like, cause I mean, Bruce, he's fully dedicated to the mission. He will sacrifice whatever for the mission. Like, he won't bend his morals. But with Nightwing, Bruce allowed him to be a child still. So you know, he got to hang out with, he got to make friends, get girlfriends, da 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 da, all this good stuff.
Yeah, girlfriends, like bro,
all of them.
like who hasn't? Like you talking about Tony smashing everybody? Who hasn't dick motion? Smashed motion.
Samoan.
Oh, I still remember something you told me. It was a joke you told me. It was like, Nightwing be like, "How do you get dick from Richard? You ass." Nicely.
Oh yeah. That was a meme. I saw that off the internet.
Oh, okay, I think never forgot that.
Yeah, I think my brother sent that to me. That joke was funny. But yeah, that's why I always like Nightwing, because you got to see what the weight of a legacy really is, and that's pretty much anybody. Like if you're somebody's son and you know your father and you grew up with your father, like you know at one point you think like, damn, like my dad did a lot. And so you know what I'm saying, when you start to grow up and you start to realize like being an adult and how much that sucks and how much sacrifice you got to make after you have a kid. I mean, I don't have a kid, thankfully. Well, not thankfully, whatever.
Well, not right now, thankfully.
Somebody about to call me pro-life or something, pro-choice or something. But you know, just the way the legacy can really hit you, and we're just like, damn, do I really want to do all this? So that's why I always like Nightwing, and then also he kept trying to be a hero, but he wanted to be his own defined version of hero.
One thing I want to say, going back to Green Arrow real quick, 'cause I think the show Arrow really like, I loved the Green Arrow before, but I think Arrow kind of shot my love for him like to the like skyrocketed, mainly because shut up,
I didn't say nothing.
because Oliver killed people at the beginning. Like he wasn't joking, he wasn't playing around. He literally was murdering people, and he came back from that and decided not to kill. He did what Batman probably couldn't do. Batman couldn't kill people and then try to have like, how can I word this, and try to come back from that and try to be that good hero. Oliver did that.
I would say it was cool because of how they explained why he was like that, because of the fact that, you know, he got linked up with Waller.
Yeah, and then she said like a quote with like, people of extremes can only be dealt with by extreme measures.
Yeah, so I mean, Amanda Waller's actually a pretty interesting character herself, but yeah,
I didn't think of her.
It's because she's so background and shadowy, but yeah, Waller, you know, kind of instilled that into him. Not to mention, he also was in a life and death situation on that island.
So I think his mind is like kill or be killed.
Yes, I mean, shouts to Batman. He got trained by the League of Shadows or Ra's al Ghul, but Ra's never made him kill nobody.
I think he tried, but Bruce wouldn't do it.
Not to mention, Ra's is a really interesting character. And Talia is a sexy character.
Oh my god! Talia is I ain't gonna lie to
them
you.
last Batman movies, bud. The way they had it set up, I was like, that's good job. You got Bill Cosby, but good job.
Okay, like who has the better female characters, DC or Marvel?
That's a hard
I
question.
might have to give it to DC because they got Catwoman and Zatanna,
Uh,
and Loki Wonder Woman.
I mean, if you talking about Marvel though, you got Storm, Black Widow, Rogue,
You can't touch Rogue.
Jubilee, Kitty. I mean, White Tiger. I can't think of her real name right now, but I mean, White Tiger she's the bomb.
She's like your new favorite right
This
now.
is a really good story. She actually is pretty strong. She's nicely trained and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things to like about her. But I don't know. Cause now I think about it though, I might gotta go with DC. Cause you got Power Girl. Don't like Supergirl all that much. Don't care about Supergirl.
Which is very interesting. How you not like Supergirl, but you like Power Girl, and they're the same character.
I mean,
This one's older.
one's
Don't you dare say more developed.
um, technically Supergirl is more developed, character developed. Nah, I mean, Power Girl is more
Physically developed.
Yeah, she's more breathless developed.
She has more assets.
Pretty much.
Okay.
She got more tit sets. So
I'm surprised you didn't put her in your top 4. Maybe she's
I
like
don't
number
know too
5.
much. I don't know too much about Power Girl.
Oh,
honestly,
okay.
though. I just know she's like a clone as well.
I only know her really from the movie Batman, Superman, Public Enemy.
Well, I mean, I know she's a clone of Supergirl, and it was supposed to be some big thing, and like it's like a storyline of her accepting herself or whatever, blah 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 blah. But aside from actually knowing like stuff about her, not that much. Aside from like with her obvious cup size. Like,
oh my god, Jesus.
yeah. Actually, I probably might have to go with DC too. Not to mention Starfire.
Yay. Yay.
So,
oh man, but okay, when it comes to Marvel and DC, all right, just quickly, if you can think on top of your dome, name 3 Marvel movies you like and like 3 DC movies you like.
Marvel, Thor Ragnarok. That was a hilarious movie. No, wait, not Ragnarok. What was the one?
It was Ragnarok.
What was the one after that?
That's
The
last
one with his sister.
That is Ragnarok.
That's Ragnarok?
Yeah.
All right, then what's the one before that?
That was Dark
Worlds?
Yeah, Dark World. I think.
Okay, so Ragnarok. Marvel's, I mean, obviously Avengers Endgame. That was a really good
Oh,
movie.
really? I think people like say they like Infinity War better than Endgame.
Nah, man, Endgame was pretty good. I like how they did that. It's a hard pick. It's a hard pick between Captain America: Civil War and Age of Ultron.
That's an interesting one.
I gotta go with Civil War though, because it had that funny moment where Cap left old girl and then she gave him a kiss, and then Falcon and Bucky was in the back seat. It was just like, my nigga.
Okay, I think for me,
Hold on, I didn't do DC fool.
I thought we was gonna take turns.
Oh, my bad.
my
You stayed all that.
Okay, I thought you knew. I'm sorry, I should establish the rules. But for me, I'll say Captain America, Winter Soldier. I like that one better than Civil War because that's Cap's carrying the movie himself.
But Civil War got the fight between Bucky, Cap, and Iron
Yeah, but that's
Man,
basically like an unofficial Avengers movie.
That was just like, I was just fire.
I love it though. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But I say Captain America, Winter Soldier, Avengers. I go with Endgame too. That ending and that one part where Cap grabs
Both
the hammer.
of them. Because if you talk about the first one, literally, I don't feel all that good. It's just like took over the world. Like
I was
legit,
genuinely
if I had
sad.
a child right now and he walked up to me and said that, I'd panic. Like that's how
Oh,
big
man,
that
dang, I gotta think of a third
one
one.
thing got.
And you're gonna be surprised at my third one. I actually really enjoyed Ant-Man.
It's a funny movie.
Yeah, but like, it doesn't get a lot of clout like the rest of them.
Yeah, but Ant-Man's a pretty. But that version of Ant-Man is a pretty dumb character.
I know. Like my favorite part of that movie was like when he's going up against Falcon. And I don't know why I always laugh. He was like, "Hi, my name's Scott," and Pam was like, "Did he just say hi? My name's Scott?"
Yeah, that joke was funny. I never watched Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I heard mixed things about it.
Same.
So I don't know. But let's see here for DC. We talking about live action movies?
Yeah. Oh, but we'll try to keep it separate.
Let's see here. Favorite one altogether, probably Dark Knight. It's hard to say that's not one of the best movies ever created. And not to mention both the roles of Christian Bale and Heath Ledger, they did those justice with Dent. That was cool how they did that kind of in the last second. Dent died, didn't he? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he died. So that was the thing. Not to mention when these people went, they got the fuck up out of there. Let's see here. That one, that's probably my top one. Second one, honestly, might be Justice League.
Really?
I know a lot of people have problems with it, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was a pretty comical thing when you saw, especially the part where Aquaman had that Wonder Woman tricked him in.
Oh my god!
It's just like, listen, man, I just don't want to die. And you all seem like good people. Oh shit! like that was hilarious. And third one probably actually might be Aquaman. Aquaman was a really great and visually stunning movie. That movie was gorgeous.
I seen a little bit of it, and it really did look good. But wasn't Black Manta like the main villain?
No, the main villain was Oars.
Okay.
Ocean Master.
Oh, okay.
His stepbrother. And not to mention their fight was pretty cool. But yeah, Aquaman, it was. I'd have to say it was because it was visually stunning. Some parts were just kind of like cheesy, but
I mean, technically, as much as a badass Aquaman is, he is a little cheesy too.
Yeah. So, hey, I definitely have to say probably that one is my third favorite.
Okay, for me, obviously Dark Knight. Second one, honestly, Joker. I enjoyed the hell out of Joker. It was such a good movie.
I never went to watch
Bro,
Joker.
like, oh my god! I remember I took one of my friends, and she's not into comic books, but she was literally just glued to the screen, just enjoying the whole entire thing.
Well, the fun thing I found with Joker was when everybody started complaining about it, like, oh my gosh, why is this so violent? Why is this so mean? I was like, first of all, it's the Joker. Like, just because it's
It
a
wasn't
prequel.
all that violent.
Yeah, but everybody started protesting it, and it kind of just showed the sensitivity of America right now. And there was like, well, I mean, first it's a rated R movie. Like, come on now.
Bro, all that controversy, it made me want to watch the movie even more, and I'm glad I did.
And it still made a whole lot of money.
It did. Bro, they're probably going to end up making a Joker too, how much money it made.
I mean,
And I think it's one of the first comic book movies to, like, win an Oscar, I'm pretty sure.
what you talking about? Avengers? No, actually, Endgame didn't.
I think it got nominated, but I don't think it won.
But I mean, Endgame broke the box.
It did, bro. It did break the box.
They made $1 billion, didn't it?
I think $2 billion.
That shit was
But
crazy.
you gotta think about it. That was like
They could have paid for everybody in the country to rewatch that movie.
But that was 12 years in the making, though. That was, you knew that was gonna make money. I gotta think of a third one though. Honestly, I enjoyed Batman v Superman. I know people give that movie slack too.
Martha, how did you know that name?
Why did you say that name?
I'm sorry.
It's
That's
like,
forever.
I mean, hey, now we know how their friendship started. Their moms had the same name.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
But like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fight. The fight made sense. Well, the reason they fought didn't make sense, but the fight itself made sense.
Yeah, all right, man. The fact that Superman, well, he got beat. Yeah, he didn't really die, but got beat technically by Doomsday. I mean, I didn't have that much problem with the movie. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. Ben Affleck did a really good job as Batman. That nigga was built too. That man was working
How
out.
much work he had to put in for that?
I know he ain't do that junk again.
You were like, yeah, I ain't being Batman. That's probably why he quit being Batman.
I mean, I would not. I mean, old buddy that does Superman, he doesn't like how healthy he has to be for that.
But he still has to be big to play with Geralt, the Witcher.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he complains about it.
He did. I think he has to do a thing where like he can't drink water for a while, dehydrate himself. So like he's like completely ripped.
That's just nasty. But
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but I can see that.
Let's see. I don't know too many animated Marvel movies, but I know plenty of DC. 'Cause I think DC does way better animated movies. So I'll just say like, if you know any Marvel animated movies.
Nah, bro, you said live action movies.
No, I'm saying like, no, this is the live action section. I'm talking about like for the animated section.
Oh. I mean, but
I just don't know too many animated Marvel movies.
yeah, I mean, Marvel
At least not off the top
had
of my head.
they had Captain America. That was a really good movie, actually. where he actually got out the ice and everything. Not to mention Black Widow. Natasha, they had Natasha looking right in that one, boy. And they also, I think they teased the relationship with those two. No, they was in a relationship. So that one, the one after that, where it was the Avengers and they had to go meet Black Panther, because I mean Panther was just a savage. I mean the
Facts.
Wakandans, yo, the Wakandans. I mean my favorite part. I still remember this. I haven't watched that movie in like 10 years, and I still remember this part
Wakanda
perfectly.
forever.
No, like they were first going into Wakanda to get vibranium,
Mm-hmm.
and then, well, no, they was chasing somebody into Wakanda, and then next thing you know, the Wakandans showed up and they had the spears and stuff, and Tony just had his like weapons out. He was like, "Come on now, spears against," and then like they threw the spear and it completely destroyed Tony. They completely destroyed Tony. So that was like that was just the epitome of savage. There was a quick Cap and Black Panther fight that was pretty good. So that one, and I think, oh, Spider Man, yeah, Spider Man the Spider Verse, Spider Verse.
Oh wait a minute. Oh dang.
Yeah, that's probably one of the.
Oh, like it was one of the only
I mean,
top
I
animated
was a little
movies.
bit upset when they had that animation style at first. I mean, they made it work, but I'm just always been upset with how just dumb American animation has to look. Like,
Really, I thought people was praising the animation.
well, I mean, the animation worked for that one, but I mean, think about how they had the Kingpin drawn. Like, come on, bro. Like, that was just stupid. I think honestly, just like I hate the animation of it, but I love the animation of it because it fits so well for that movie. But with like the American animation, I'm like, come on now. We got the DC movies animated. I mean, that action is great. I mean, the old Captain America movie, that action was. I mean, that movement was a solid. I mean, look at Star Wars: The Clone Wars. How good that just choreography is.
Man,
We ain't talk about that,
I know.
but
I'm just saying. I
like,
just can't wait till we get to there.
yeah. So I just always had an issue with that. Like, why can't the animation get better? And these new TV shows are just getting dumber and dumber. Like, I can't watch none of the Spider-Man TV shows. I would probably just not shoot myself. I don't want to talk about suicide stuff. I probably like shoot somebody else for that to get better.
So you rather just like commit murder?
Don't watch that show. Watch any
Oh
of
my
them
god.
shows past probably the first one they started doing where they had
Mm.
him, Nova, and White Tiger. That one was actually halfway decent.
Dang, like I just wish I knew the name of more like Marvel animated movies. I mean, I feel like I can think of some, but I just don't know their names. When it comes to DC, though, I know a good amount of them. My top three favorites have to be Justice League Dark,
I didn't care
Justice
for that
League
one.
versus Teen Titans, and Batman Bad Blood. I know
Um,
I strike that Batman Hush. Sorry,
let's see here for that one. I ain't gonna lie, they were doing Batman justice with them animated movies.
bro, they've been doing everybody justice. That's
Nah, Batman the most though.
dang, like
Batman's fight speed, iconic.
that's true. If I had to put a fourth, I would do the Death of Superman. I love that movie.
Let's see here. I have to say, if I had to do top three animated DC movies, actually the Justice League movies before they switched up to the New 52 version.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last one there? It was because they had to
It should
go.
have been Flashpoint.
Oh, okay. Flashpoint's number two, because Flashpoint was just that was no
I give
joke.
you that. That was. I didn't think it was gonna be that violent watching it.
That was no joke.
Oh
Boy.
my god!
I mean,
Did
they had
everyone die?
everybody die.
Everyone
They had
died.
that nuke drop, and then, but even before that, though, I mean, Aquaman and Wonder Woman practically killed themselves. They showed like the skeleton versions of people
Oh my
dying.
god!
Cyborg died. That just was nasty. But and then like on top of that, though, the plot was just so amazing
It was.
because the fact that they even had Aquaman and Wonder Woman be the ones to set everything off.
But
Clark
like,
was practically cancered.
but the fact that like all that happened just because Barry just wanted to save his mom.
Like that was the point. That sometimes that trauma is what really set you on the path.
Yeah, but I think Reverse Flash said it best. Like that one little change, just slightly changed everything else.
Yeah, that's the point of the universe, man.
And I will
So,
give Flashpoint this. It did create. They never made it into a movie, but it is in the comics. They create like a little side story for Batman because you know like, Bruce died and
his father took over.
but his mom became Joker.
Yeah, they should have kept that. I would have loved to see that. That is a really good comic too. My brother read that one, But yeah, so that'd probably be number two. Number one would be damn. It's when would they like meet the Justice League from another universe? But what happens is like that
Crisis on
Justice League,
Infinite Earth.
boom. So like that one, it was like really good. That was really good
I don't
because
know how he left.
the people who like opposed each other, the oppositions of the different characters were so great, and not to mention Owlman was just he was legit evil.
Bruh, yes.
Because he was like, well, I mean, I want to destroy everything.
Um,
And I just want to destroy everything.
my favorite thing is that Batman technically did what he couldn't do in Hush. He let someone else die. Because he knew that, like, Flash would die if he, did the vibration thing to make the portal. So he tricked Johnny Quick into volunteering himself. Because I think in the end, Johnny literally said, like, you knew this was going to happen. You knew that I was going to die. You knew Flash would have died, so you tried to trick me into doing it.
Well, I think what it was, the thing about it, I honestly don't think Barry would have died. I don't think Barry would have been able to come back from that, though. So,
okay.
because Quick is slower than Barry.
I thought it was the same
So,
speed.
nah, Quick was, I think it's already listed. Quick is slower than Barry. I think
Okay.
Barry outpaced him in one of the fights.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Barry definitely outpaced them because like they were chasing each other, and then Barry kind of like popped right in front of him and knocked him out. But
Okay.
but he was like, Batman was like, no, because he lied. He was like, no, you're not fast enough. And then Johnny was like, I'm fast enough for it, and he's like, sure. And so I think like he did that to make sure Flash would still be Flash. But yeah, and then one of the things about it is one of the last things Batman says to Owlman, and like I said, I love Batman's morality just a lot because he was like, "What makes you so different from me?" And Batman was like, "Well, when you stared into the abyss, you blinked. I didn't. I stayed me." So
That's a bar. That's
and
a
then
bar.
and then he left, and then he just left him there. And then next thing you know, Owlman was just like, I guess so. And it was just so gangster. So.
But the thing is too, like this is how I knew Owlman was insane. He technically could have left, but he was like,
no,
doesn't
Batman
matter.
took the well.
No, like Batman made it so he could have escaped, but he
No.
just chose not to.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't care about life.
Yeah, he like literally, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so like that one was just so amazing. Not to mention the last part of it. It was when they get back to their world, and then Flash runs off and hits the invisible plane.
Oh my god!
He's
What makes
like,
me like somewhat laugh is that the person who voices Owlman played one of the bad guys in a Recess movie back in the day. I can't stop thinking that every time I hear his voice.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Actually, yeah, I remember that. But I mean, and not to mention these voice castings for these things
They are amazing.
Point.
They are
Perfect.
amazing.
Oh, so perfect for all of them.
Like who plays
I
what's
know
the dude's
their
name that
names.
plays Batman?
I know their names. I just know that these dudes are perfect. I also like the Batman voice actor from Arkham Knight, from the Arkham series.
That's
in
the
the games.
same. That's the same person.
Yeah, like that
Like it's
guy.
Kevin
He's-
Conroy. Kevin Conroy.
Yeah,
There we go.
he is perfect for Batman.
Will he ever stop playing Batman? He's been Batman ever since the 90s.
I mean, they've switched in and out, especially with the new Batman, the new Justice League movies. They switched in and out. But to get my third, what would be my third one? So many good ones. Because it's not Batman Hush or anything like that. I probably go with that Batman series though. That Batman line is the fight. I probably have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with Bad Blood actually, because I just like that thing of making Grayson take over the mantle, and he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, but he doesn't make a good Batman.
Well, that's because he didn't want to be Batman, because like remember when him and Damien are in the car, and Damien's like, I'd be a better Batman than you, and then like Grayson just got mad. He was like, listen, it's 10,000 things I'd want to wear aside from this suit. I never wanted to put this suit on. I do not have that same drive that Bruce does. And then when he's talking to old girl, damn, that chick was bad.
Batwoman? Oh, yeah,
She-
okay, yeah.
She was fine, but I hate that TV show though. But when she was talking to him, and she was like, "So what was it like growing up with Batman?" And Grayson was like, "Lonely." It really hits. Like, Bats tried, but
He
he can only be him.
Yeah, he wasn't really father material.
Yeah, like he tried his best because we all know he did things with Grayson, but at the end of the day, though, that mantle, that legacy is scary, bro.
Yeah, man, it is a lot to handle.
So, I mean, that's why that one probably number 3. So that's probably it for me. But what do you want for the future of these comic book stories?
Ooh, yeah. Right off the bat, I want X-Men versus Avengers. I want, like, I know that, like, sooner or later X-Men is going to be in the MCU, so I just want to see them fight and then be friends afterwards. I know the comics was legendary. I want to see it like on screen. Besides that, though, one thing I wanted was they actually already done, so I just want them to keep going with this. I want them to keep Young Justice going for like 3-4 more seasons.
Yeah, Loki, I do too. That's a really great storyline.
It really
especially
is.
that last season. Boy, my boy, I didn't got that.
Like they
When he
created
pulled
their
that chick,
own MCU in that TV show.
like legit, and it works so well. Not to mention Aqualad is one of my favorite characters from there.
One thing, like this is something I want to
Well,
feature
Calder
in
my
that
favorite.
show. I want them to address Red Hood, which they did, but I want them either next season or the season
Well,
after
they brought
that
up the
to-
fact that Todd died.
No, they actually brought him back. They brought Jason back
When?
in season 3.
When was this?
When they went to Ra's al Ghul's fortress, and one of the ninjas took his hood off, and it had Jason's hair, and he was like, "Gray son," and Ra's was like, "Oh, your memories are coming back."
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then they showed Damien as a baby.
Uh-huh.
So I want to see more.
I do remember
about
the
it.
baby. I do remember
Okay.
Damon. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, but go back to that. You will see, like, yeah, that's
Yeah, no.
that's
Now
Jason.
that you brought it up, I remember that perfectly.
So I want either next season or the season afterwards to do a whole arc on Red
you
Hood.
might actually be able to see that fight.
Oh my god,
I need that fight. I legit.
bro. I'm so hyped for that. I hope it needs to happen.
I
Like,
legit need that fight.
but besides that, honestly, I just want them to keep going. Also in the Arrowverse, I don't know what heroes they should bring, but I think that they should just keep it going for at least another, maybe another 10 years. Just maybe with new shows. What about you?
The main thing I want is kind of breaking away from the OGs. Like, there's been no forward movement from these OG characters. Young Justice counts. Young Justice and Titans count. Because Titan is a really solid show.
I still haven't seen it yet. I heard
I gotta
it's
go
good,
back.
though.
I gotta go back to see. I gotta finish watching season 2. But Titans. Well, I mean, season 1 was a little bit bumpy here and there. But yeah, it's a really good show, and it's solid. But it's like I need that breakaway from the OGs. Like, where's the new heroes?
So you want like something where like they break away from the old stuff. Like you don't want to do anything with Superman or Batman anymore. But what kind of hero would you want?
I don't know. I mean, more black people. I mean,
More black people.
shouts to the culture.
Bro, just bring Static back. Just bring Static back.
I mean, like facts. Static Shock is like one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe right now. But
It's so
I
true.
just want new characters, new storylines, new all types of shit. Like, can we get away from redoing Batman? Can we get away from redoing Superman, just Wonder Woman? Can we get like just something new?
Okay, I agree. I agree with that.
And, I mean, Marvel doesn't really have anything like that because it's not really too many younger characters, I guess. But
They're trying. I know they try to do like a new blood thing, but they're trying.
I
At
don't know.
least.
I just needed something new. Let's move forward. Some progress.
Some progress.
You know what I'm saying?
Basically, you just want progress. That's all you want.
Yeah, man, we've been redoing these stories forever. I'm kind of tired of
Hey,
the Superman story.
nostalgia is a very
Whatever.
good
I'm
thing.
tired of seeing Superman daddy die. All right, Bats watching his parents die. Who cares now? We
Okay,
need
first
some
of all,
new
it
stuff.
wasn't just his dad; his whole planet died.
Who cares? We need no. We need new stuff. Just new characters, new personalities, things like that. We need new pillars.
Like, I feel you though.
But that pretty much is all that we have to talk about for this episode. If you have any favorite moments that you want to talk about with DC, Marvel, favorite shows, favorite characters,
Yeah, like
favorite
if you
plot
want us
lines,
to break down certain shows, break down certain heroes, let us know. I mean, I went down doing like a whole thing on certain shows like
it
Injustice.
could probably be like one of the filler episodes.
Yeah.
But most definitely had a lot of fun with this episode, talking about honestly one of the biggest pillars in America.
That is true.
So definitely and had fun with this one.
Dang, like Can I say my catchphrase for this? Because it's really not anime based. So like surpass your limits, and plus Ultra doesn't fit. Yep. So it doesn't really fit for this one. So
just always remember, since we are talking about DC and Marvel, which is in America, and what's with America's going through right now, always be sure to wash your ass.
And remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, we ain't doing all that.
I mean, I had to do something for the end.
Who cares? That's my favorite character anyway. So
I mean, does Batman even have a catchphrase?
Do it for justice.
Martha.
Shut up. But that's pretty much the episode, and we will catch you next time.
Peace.
This shit is too easy. Tell them I have no rivals. When I walk up in the spot, they know they nothing to me, and they got a bag for their survival.